Second unit, first poem we are going to see today. The poem title, Time and Love. Time and Love. If you say in Tamil, maybe Kalamum Kadalum Madri. Time and Love. It's a sonnet written by Shakespeare. A sonnet is a poem with 14 lines. You see in Tamil, Naladiar has 4 lines. Naladi. It means there will be only 4 lines. Couplet. Couplet means Tirukural, like a poem with 2 lines, which has only 2 lines, but meaning. Like that, a sonnet means it has 14 lines. Sonnet means it has 14 lines. There were people who were writing sonnets like Sidney, Marlowe, Spenser, and Shakespeare. So all of these people, they were writing sonnets. It means they were writing poetry with 14 lines. A sonnet is a lyrical poem. A sonnet is a lyrical poem. What is lyric? Lyric means, the meaning of lyric is some inspiration. Unarchi padal. Some feeling, some inspiration. As soon as they get, they write a poem. That is called a lyric. Here, Shakespeare, he has written 154 meaningful sonnets. He has written 154 meaningful sonnets. You see, in Shakespeare, I said a sonnet has 14 lines. A sonnet has 14 lines. And in the 14 lines, first 8 lines, we call it octave. O-C-T-A-V-E. First 8 lines, we call it octave. And last 6 lines, we call it sesset. S-E-S-S-E-T. Sesset. First 8 lines, that is descriptive. In first 8 lines, there will be a question. In first 8 lines, there will be a question. In last 6 lines, there will be answer for the first 8 lines. That's the method. Of course, Shakespeare's sonnets are really different from other sonnets because Shakespeare has written differently. In last 2 lines, he used to keep a twist and will give an answer. And in this poem, he has done like that. This is a poem with 14 lines. A sonnet is a poem with 14 lines. So what is a sonnet, they would ask you. A sonnet is a poem with 14 lines. That's the answer. What is the first part of sonnet? That is octave. Octave means there will be one question or description. What is the second part of sonnet? That is sesset. That means the answering part, answer part. There will be answer for the question given in the first part. So see to that you know what is sonnet. And now I will show you a small introduction about Shakespeare. Of course, I have sent you already in WhatsApp last week itself. See, Shakespeare, here we see, was an English poet, playwright, and an actor. He was born in 26th April 1564, Stratford, Warwickshire is the name of the place in London. And his father was a businessman. Of course, no property, no business is stable. Even nowadays we see that family fall into problems and he had to go and work as a young fellow. And you see, in the beginning, we see he joined in a drama group. He was acting with them. And step by step, he started to compose or write dramas for the drama they are acting. Like that, in 20 years, he wrote 38 dramas, 154 sonnets, and two long narrative poems. So, in total, he has written 38 plays we see, 38 plays. So 154 sonnets, and this sonnet is the 64th one. This sonnet is the 64th one. You see, he married Annie Hathaway at the age of 18. In history, we are informed she was 8 years older than him. He was 8 years older than him. That means she was 27 years, maybe 25 years, 25 years. And they had three children, and Susanna was the senior, and she was publishing the things even after his death, we see. And in 1663, at the age of 49, he retired and returned to his hometown. He died at the age of 52. He died at the age of 52, we see. And you see, even 52 is a young age. 52 is a young age only. And this sonnet is a 64th one. This sonnet is a 64th one. So we see the sonnet is a poem with 14 lines. First part of the sonnet is called octave. Second part of the sonnet is called sesset. And in the first part, there will be a question, and the answer will be there in the second part. We'll see the sonnet now. We'll see the sonnet now. Of course, I'll try to explain you in Tamil at the end of this session. You see this. Of course, for convenience, I have segregated the 14-line sonnet into 4, 4, 4 like that. In actual form, it's not there in that form. You see, when I have seen by time's fell hand defaced, the rich, proud cost of outworn buried age, when sometime lofty towers I see down raised, and brass eternal slave to mortal rage. First 4 lines, there is a big message. What is the big message? Time's fell hand defaced. Time's fell hand defaced. Time's fell hand defaced. You see, time is changing everything. Time is changing everything. 400 years, 350 years, British ruled us. They built many buildings. They inculcated many developments. But time has come, they were sent out of India. Mughal emperors ruled India for a long time. Mughal emperors ruled India for a long time, Muslim emperors. They built big mosques. They built Taj Mahal. They built, even the Red Fort was built by them. But time has come, even though such kind of bigger buildings. You see, in the first line, I have seen time fell and defaced. Defaced means disfigured. Time has changed. Time is changing everything. Yesterday we felt we are safe. Last year, doctors, they were thinking it is the safest profession in the world. We can earn any much of amount in this world. And today even they fear of this virus. They run. Even police, they were thinking they are so powerful. Even they were affected with virus. So times are changing. Political leaders, if we have money, we will save anyone. That is the intention and thinking of people. But what is happening? There is no safety to them. Even they are dying. Even a cricketer yesterday died. See, there is no safety to anyone. Time is disfiguring people. In history, we hear about a woman called Keo. Keo Simati. There was a woman called Keo, who was a rich woman. Was a rich woman and so beautiful. Since she was beautiful, she was doing one thing. She used to see her face in a mirror always. And she would feel so happy on seeing her face. She used to think, I am beautiful, I am beautiful. And everyone looks at me, I am beautiful. He was thinking. One day, she got chicken pox. All boils, it has come on her face and on her back and everywhere on her body. That is all. His face was disfigured. That is all his face was. Her face was disfigured. All her beauty have gone, and that face have become very ugly. Earlier, she used to see her face in the mirror and felt very happy on seeing that. Now, she is not happy to look at her own face in the mirror. It got disfigured. So time can change anything. People think that they got government. If we have government job, we can live a safe life. No, not like that. That virus can affect you and would even kill you, and that is invisible. Even you can't revenge. So there is no safety. So time is changing everything. That is the meaning what we see. And in the third line, sometime lofty towers I see down raised. Even now on the very old traditional buildings, they are replacing with new ones. We see it. Very old buildings are replaced. Lofty towers. Even towers. எறும்பு ஊற கல்லும் தேயுங்கிறாங்க தமிழ்ல. Even when an ant passes by on a stone, on a rock, even that gets slow, step by step, it gets damages. So when years are running, even rocks can melt down. When rock can melt down, that is why time can do all these things. And brass na people, and brass eternal slave to mortal age. Even the monuments, some of the items which are some of the monuments what we see in the scenario, in today's scenario, is all not going to be there on tomorrow. That will not be there. So time will change everything. Next 4 lines you see here. Next 4 lines. When I have seen the hungry ocean gain, ocean samudra alla, when I have seen the hungry ocean gain advantage on the kingdom of shore and the firm soil vein of the watery main, increasing store with loss and loss with store. You see, when I've seen the hungry ocean gain, ocean is hungry. Ocean is hungry. You look at the Indian Ocean in Chennai, it is the biggest one in the world. Biggest one. Any amount of people can be cast inside. Any amount of people can be cast inside the ocean that will take away. And ocean is hungry. Any amount of materials, any amount of everything you can do and put. So there is possibility. But you see, nothing is permanent. Nothing is permanent in this world. Nothing is permanent in this world. So we see times are changing. Things are changing. When I have seen the hungry ocean gain advantage in the kingdom of a shore and the firm soil vein of the watery main, increasing store with loss and loss with store. And some years ago, in 2002-3, there was tsunami. Earlier, there are some colleges very near to the sea in Chennai. Once they told us when we were been there, this ocean won't cross this line, they said. The கடல் இந்த லைனை தாண்டி வரவே வராது, வந்ததே கிடையாது, they said. But one day it came. One day it came. So times are changing. Even the shore and sea has give and take policy. It can come inside and go. Even the soil can go inside the sea. That is happening in this world. That is happening. There is possibility. So, and the next four lines you see here. When I have seen such interchange of state, or state itself confounded to decay, confounded means perplexed, kalakam. I have seen such interchange of state, or state itself confounded to decay. Ruin hath taught me thus to ruminate. Ruin alive. Ruin has taught me to thus to ruminate. The time will come and take my love away. There is a word ruminate. You see, a cow is chewing. Your geology student, no need to tell you and elaborate. A cow is chewing it when it gets food or grass or something. Immediately it swallows up everything and runs away. When it is free, it chews up everything. That is ruminating. A cow is ruminating. So thinking over. Here it means thinking over. You see, confounded is perplexed, and there is interchange of state, or state means a government, which or state itself confounded to decay. There is nothing. Stay or state, everything is decaying. எல்லாமே மக்கி போகக்கூடிய ஒன்று, அழிஞ்சு போகக்கூடிய ஒன்று. Even today people are buried by police or by some officials of the government. Not even the family members are not allowed. Things are changing. Things are changing. Even if you have money, you cannot bring hundreds of people to your marriage. Things are changing. So you see, ruin hath taught me. அழிவு நமக்கு நிறைய விஷயங்களை சொல்லி தருது. Ruin hath taught me thus to ruminate. The time will come and take my love away. He says, there is a word love here. Love, the word love is referring to male gender. The word lover is referring to male gender. So he says always his sonnets are always written in praise of a woman, in praise of an imaginary woman, imaginary character, sacred imaginary character. He used to write sonnets in praising her. In history, we see that is an imaginary character, dark lady of the love. That's the word they use. That is an imaginary word, the imaginary character. Now he sees her friend, that lady love, his friend, that lady love will also die one day. Will also die one day. He would be taken away. He says he thinks that he would be taken away, and he is going to miss his friend. So you see, in this world today we are here. Today we are here, and tomorrow will be gone. Today we are here, tomorrow will be gone. Today we are here, tomorrow will be gone. Today we are here, tomorrow will be gone. Nothing is permanent. Nothing is permanent. Today you are here, you may be living up to some 70 years, even 80 years. I am already 45. Maybe another 20 years, if God permits, I may be in this world, and tomorrow I will be gone. And you will follow me. You will follow me, you will also pass by in this world. So no one is permanent. God is permanent. God is immortal. They say there is no death to God. Man is mortal. மனுஷன் சாகக்கூடியவன். There is possibility of death to human being at any time. Today there is no safety. So there is fear around us. Many people are dying of this virus. We see this. There is no safety, security, anything, because it is all temporary life. We are here today, tomorrow will be gone. Next generation will come and live in this Arakonam. We are not going to be here. So nothing is permanent. That is what he is saying. Time comes, my friend will be taken away. My lady love will be taken away. He worries. So one day she will also die. That's the meaning. And last two lines, you see this, in last two lines, this thought is as death which cannot choose, but weep to have that which it fears to lose. What does he says? The thought of death which cannot choose, but weep to have that which it fears to lose. Today he is saying, anyway, today my friend is here. I'll enjoy the time what I have today. What I have today, I will enjoy the time what I have with my friend. What I have, very minimum time what is given to me, I'll enjoy with my friend, because tomorrow he will not be there. He will also die, and I will also die. So what does he mean? Today I will utilize the time given to me in this world. I will utilize the time given to me in this world. I will live a meaningful life which is given to me in this world. So now he consoles himself. At least now my friend is alive. She is living with me. I will utilize the time what I have with me. That is what he is telling. So you remember, sonnet is a poem with 14 lines. First 8 lines is called octave. Last 6 lines is called sestet. And first 8 lines is descriptive. And another 6 lines there will be an answer. Shakespeare's sonnets are really different. He has written 154 sonnets, and this one is a 64th one. Shakespeare's sonnets has a twist, and he would answer the question at the last, in last two lines. In last two lines, he will answer the question. So in the same way he has done in this sonnet 2. So if you require, I'll explain in Tamil now.